I've been working on a new scalping strategy that I'm excited to share. It uses the 15-minute chart and the 1-minute chart. So let's get into it. So I'm up 2K this week on my 150K top or Tradeify account. You can see today I ended net 1.2K, and that was across a few trades. So that's what I want to break down here. So if we look at the 15-minute chart, this was market open. This really just ugly price action. And that is just an absolute no trade for me. The way I know it's a no trade for me is when a new high and low are made within 15 minutes of each other. Like you can see right here, a low was made and then a high was made 3 minutes later. I know this is a no trade market and we are still trying to find our footing. We don't know what's going on. So I take a step back and I think to myself, when we get a breakout, we are definitely going to get a little bit more momentum, and that's my job to capitalize on that. Not necessarily the first push out, but the second push. So to walk you through exactly what happened with this trade, this is the 1-minute chart. It's a no touch, so I'm just going to close out of that. Now, what we're looking at here is this first push out was when the 15-minute candle closed bearish under initial balance. Breaking initial balance meaning that we have about an 80% chance of closing on this side and closing bearish on the day. So we have previous day's low underneath as a target. And what I used was the low of day VWAP, and I put that on. And as soon as we closed under it, that was my entry signal. This was the exact trade that I took. The executions got deleted because it's after market session, but that's all right. The trade idea here is on this 15-minute candle that now you can see is just a doji, but this 15-minute candle. And we push out of the IB, and I tell myself as this 15-minute candle is printing, I want to be short unless this 15-minute candle flips to be bullish. If that happens, I don't want to be in the short anymore. So that gave me a very tight stop. I actually wanted to be short from up here at 66, but because this candle technically did not close under the low of day VWAP, it wasn't an entry signal. So I am still waiting and following good process. So you can see my stop was right here at 73, which coincides with being right above that wick. And I end up staying in this trade. Some of these candles really did scare me. I thought I might get taken out for a loss, and that would have been fine. But as we push lower and we just get that first initial push down, I really just go for 10 points on ES. 10 points is my sweet spot. So you can see I actually stayed in this trade for 4 minutes after this candle closure. So this closed like a doji, and I'm thinking, well, I at least got to stay in it and see what's going on. Then the next 15-minute candle starts to print, and it's super bearish, and there's not even a wick to the upside. So what that's telling me is the bears are coming in, but they might not stay in. We're at least getting some momentum right now. And so that was the first trade. Basically, the idea behind this trade is we get a breakout of a consolidation period. And I'm looking for the momentum to continue. So this would have, if I'd gotten the price that I wanted, this would have been a 2R trade rather than like a 1.2R trade. So you just put the stop at the top of the candle as it's printing, or the bottom, depending on which side you're going on, and then that's your entry. Now, let's see how I use that same principle to find a second trade. So I was up about $500 from that trade, and I ended up taking this, which I closed early. So this turned into a loss. I closed it here on this candle as it just started to break out of the range. I was watching Nvidia, and Nvidia was falling back to its daily. So as you saw, my stop wasn't at the daily VWAP. It was just at this pin structure, which in hindsight would have held, but I wasn't willing to take a trade so high up in the afternoon, knowing that it could want to continue lower. So what I did was I got out on this candle, and then I just waited. I stayed flat. And the key is we on this candle closure here. So on the 1-minute chart, this candle closure coincided with the end of this 15-minute candle. So now I'm seeing a lot of wicks. I'm seeing wicks at the daily VWAP. That to me signals that we want to be higher. We want to go higher, but maybe we're just still consolidating. Now, the next trade that presented using the same philosophy was this one. As this trade starts pushing higher, this 15-minute candle again opens up with no wick to the downside, indicating to me that we have some bullish momentum. And I actually ended up just taking this as a quick scalp for 10 points. Again, you can see I'm really just a 10-point scalper. I don't try and push the moves. I made 1.2K. That was plenty for me. Especially with the consistency rule of Tradeify, you need to be trading 10 days anyway. So the max profit you can make in one day is 20%. Basically, you need to trade the 10 days. So if I take a 1.2K day, I am very happy with that. So yeah, same trade idea. Stop goes at the bottom of the 15-minute candle that opens with no wicks on it. That is the trade idea. And you don't even have to stay in for the full 15 minutes. I stayed in for 5 minutes and then I was out. So that is the trade idea. And I really hope that this was of value to people. And, I'm going to be building this strategy out over the next few months and really seeing what kind of, edge does it actually have in the market. So stay tuned.